Deuce on the turn is going to give Sturm a wheel draw now. A 4 would be disastrous.
Salazar had deuces, right?
So Mauricio gets out of the way real quick, and then we've got Ponakovs calling. Turn is the deuce of hearts, and Alexei checks to you. What are your thoughts about this situation on the turn?
Yeah, Mauricio is in complete shambles because he sees that his fold was terrible. On my end, however, I do pick up some equity, so that's kind of nice. In game, I was already very aware that it's very easy to overbluff here because there's just all the Broadway stuff that interacts with the king and the jack, and then now we also have a lot of wheels. And even if I do have a hand like ace deuce, it wouldn't even be unreasonable to barrel that hand and make his 5x and jack x indifferent and get called by some ace 10 flush draw or something. It's yeah, there's just a lot of potential barrels for me. I can also have ace 7, ace 8, ace 9. I mean, I did mention that those are not that nice to c-bet in the first place, but if I have the ace of hearts with those hands, then reasonable barrel spot.
142.
You check, Leon pots it. What are your thoughts at this point?
Normally he should be only using this size on a turn while he goes for c-bet, and I think he should be kind of polar, not going very thin for value, and his range should be it's mostly should be constructed by strong holdings. Some of the flush draws he should be kind of careful of. He should be aware of getting check raised, check jammed on a turn, and a lot of flush draws he cannot really bet call. But there are some flush draws he can easily bet call in this spot, like that having roughly like 25% of equity or something, because I also can have flush draws, and usually he will have like, I don't know, straight draw and flush draw, or one overcard and flush draw. Some of other hands, like maybe ace 3 of hearts, ace 4 of hearts, he still can continue barreling too. Just having one heart in a hand is obviously very good for barreling in such spot, because I have a lot of draws, jack X type of hands, and maybe even lowest pairs if I decided not to check raise them. So yeah, it's a spot where I kind of understand theoretical range, and I have my own expectations of his range in exact mode.
If you do think that the spot is overbluff, which one could assume, you could also just say, okay, I'm not gonna barrel here because I think Ponakovs is going to show a lot of resistance here on the turn. I think that he gives me enough credit to be at least somewhat balanced in this spot, so I once again went with some frequency. And as for my size, I would just kind of bet Geo here. I sort of did not do that, but it was very close off. But yeah, I would just bet Geo so that the turn size is the same as on the river.
So for me, it's like no-brainer call in such spot. I think I would be a bit aware of continuing some of the king X in that spot. Maybe actually king 4 and king 3 becomes not sure if it's a call or fold exactly right now, but normally I think, as I said, on a flop, my opponent gonna over c-bet, and I think he will have enough bluffs in this spot so I can continue any king. So I would be continuing some of the jacks as well without any additional equity. Yeah.
So Ponakovs making the call brings the pot to 427,000. And the 4 gives Ponakovs 2 pair, and Leon Sturm makes the wheel.
Yeah, wow. What a sick run out.
What are your thoughts on Leon jamming the ace 3 no heart for value?
Yeah, that's obviously standard play. I think he can easily go in this spot for sets for value, and I think if he not gonna construct different sizes on a river, he probably should be jamming top 2 as well. This is the bottom of the value. I don't think there is any merges in this spot by betting like king 10 with a 10 of hearts, trying to get fold of king queen and stuff. I don't think it exists in this spot. It's pretty big. It's late stage of the tournament already, so usually people are not finding any merges at that stage. Maybe they can find them like in GPV but not in ICM stages.
It's always a different process at arriving at a decision whether I'm in game or I can now look at it from an outside perspective. In game, I did think, okay, like I wasn't 100% confident that I was gonna shove that my hand is good enough to do so in game. Because the king and the jack was offsuit actually, and all the real cards were the hard ones, which means that he's gonna have, comparatively speaking, more flushes. I think. I mean, it doesn't. Actually, he's gonna have all 5x suited, right? So maybe it doesn't matter that much anymore. And perhaps it's even better now that I think about it, because he's gonna have more offsuit king x than he's gonna have offsuit 5x in his range, obviously. Anyway, there's a lot of potential flush combos out there, and it's definitely something to be concerned about. However, in game, I did think that I personally need to be very careful on the turn with how I'm barreling my flush draws, because I don't want to get pushed off my equity, and he's sometimes going to check jam. In hindsight, his check jam node is going to appear very, very rarely, because there isn't many hands that benefit from that. Perhaps there's like a 10-9 of hearts or queen 9 of hearts in particular, but like he's not going to jam pair plus flush draw or anything, or ace 10 flush draw or something like that. If I don't need to be careful about protecting my flush draws, then I actually do arrive on the river with a bunch of flushes. In game, I thought it's very easy to overbluff river once again, because if you barrel turn selectively with blocking a flush draw, say ace 8, ace 7, ace 9, queen 10, or even, I mean, queen 9 offsuit was not going to be in my range, but all those offsuit combos, or even ace 10 with a heart, population is always going to jam river, thinking they block a flush, and that's quite relevant. So I think, once again, it's very easy to overbluff. Plus, my value threshold is going to be, I mean, if I jam a wheel, then I'm going to jam a set, I guess. So it's going to be 5s plus, or in this instance, I guess deuces as well. It's a rather narrow value range. And once again, just easy to overbluff. So I think it's a good spot to go thin for value anyway, because I thought he was going to catch reasonably often.